Welcome to round number 8 recap, where I was playing someone older than 18 years old, someone who I played against before, I lost to before, so Kusha Jafarian, CM, soon to be FM, congrats to him, great job. Playing with black pieces. It's been a rough tournament, as you might know by watching my recaps. I've recovered, yes, some type of recovery by winning back-to-back games, and with black pieces, finally I'm facing a stronger opponent after 7 rounds of climbing towards it. Black pieces. And before the game, the parents released like 1 hour before the game, I started thinking what Kusha might play. He plays London, he might place Queen's Gambit setups as well, but mostly E4 player, and I had a game against E4 against him in 2022 when I played him for the first time, and he destroyed me in Grand Prix attack. So this time I thought that Kusha might not be going for the same line again, because I would be more prepared, and I did prepare for it as well. So I checked the lines for London, I checked the lines for Grand Prix, and I also checked the lines for something that he played only, I guess, twice in his chess tournament career. He plays d4. And his setup is basically to go b3, bishop b2, and try to, get some play. So, we briefly discussed it after the game that online on my, I'm not sure if it was chess.com account, Leech's account, I played g6, bishop g7, which is supposed to be very good for white pieces. So before the game, I checked the file that my coach sent me many years ago, and which equalizes without any problem. So I go e6. And after bishop b2, I go d5. That's actually probably the best setup that can be played with black pieces against this this opening. It's called Magnus Sicilian, what the hell? Oh man, e takes d5, it takes d5, long castle, and now I go bishop e6, protecting the pawn on d5. And there are a couple of things to mention. So I just briefly remembered that I have to play queen a5 at some point, either on knight f3 or king b1, doesn't matter. There was also some maybe a3 bishop d6 move. So king b1 was played. So what happened after knight f3? There's queen a5, and I want to show you quickly a wild line I just discovered while preparing for this recap. Knight b5, queen a2, queen f4, rook d8, and now crazy rook d4 move. So sacrificing the rook, it's insane. Nobody would play this in a real game because it doesn't make any sense. Unless you know this by looking at the engine before the game, but of course, if you are facing this for the first time, it's impossible. A takes b5, bishop b5, knight d7, rook e1, bishop a3, bishop d7, rook d7, and now basically the game ends in a draw, queen f5, queen f6, perpetual checks. So Kusha goes for king d1, king b1, queen a5, and now the best move is knight d5, which was played in the game. Let's say if white decide to go for something like knight f3, I just go bishop b4, and knight e4 threat is insanely annoying. If queen d3, I have knight g4, and suddenly my pieces are playing pretty well. So knight b5 was played, I go queen d2, rook d2, and now I go bishop b4, attacking the rook. If knight c7 was to happen, king d7, knight d8, bishop d2, I'm completely winning. If knight e6 can just take on d2, I'm up in exchange. If c3 here, knight e4, rook c2, and I can even take, and bishop f5. Yeah, some wild lines, and black are slightly better. But after bishop b4, Kusha goes for rook e2. I wasn't prepared for this move specifically, and I didn't remember what to play after rook d3. So after rook e2, I played king d7, just because I didn't want this rook on e file, on the same file as my king. So after rook d3, because I was choosing between castle, of course, long castle, and king d7. Not here specifically, I'm just saying that after rook e2, I was choosing between long castle, which is apparently best, but I just thought that king d7, maybe get the king closer to the center, why not? So rook d3 is passed, and this is what I had in my file. Long castle, knight d4, knight d4, knight d6, takes, knight f3, knight d2, takes, and f3, 5. Black are equalizing fairly easy. So rook e2 was played instead. I go king d7, slight inaccuracy, knight f3 was played on the board. Now go a6, a3 is now passed. That's insane. So the idea of a3 is simple, bishop c5, but still it's not like a huge advantage. Knight d4, knight c6, takes, knight d4, and white get a game still probably very, very equal. So knight bd4 was played instead, and now I go knight e4, threatening some knight c3, and there is like a forced line which we played on the board. Knight e6, f takes e6, which I calculated as well. Knight e6, f takes e6, bishop g7, rook g8. So I spent some time analyzing bishop b2, but after bishop b2 I thought bishop c5. Actually, oh my goodness, takes. There was this exchange stack. I was thinking maybe there are some exchange stacks on e4, but I wasn't sure if that's good enough. So rook a f8 is passed, because now the point is, if rook e4 was ever to happen, then d takes e4 and we take on f2, while let's say in the following position, because what I calculate is bishop b2, bishop c5, and I thought, how do you protect? Because let's say if you go g3, there's just knight f2 and the game ends in draw. Because now if this knight e3, and obviously now it might become extremely tough to defend. Maybe this rook, not sure why, but just to, I'm not sure why actually, maybe because this rook potentially goes to 8. So rook g8, knight e5 first, and now I decide to take, and after bishop c5 now it's a forced draw basically, because I go knight f2, knight h3. We started laughing during the game. So yeah, there is not much choice. Bishop b2, yeah, this is just a strong move. Both files are taken, it's very hard. Would I also spend some time calculating, let's say knight e5, bishop e5, and there is like line knight d2, king b2. I could potentially play this endgame, knight f1. Oh, f4 is best. No, but there is no way this would be played on the board, because now rook g2, and because I saw this line, I'm like, how do I get my rook out? Like this is a bit annoying. So I spent some time analyzing. I was like, okay, I mean, I have bishop c5, and now there is no way to protect. Bishop g3, there is knight c3 fork. So f3 or f4 is pretty much forced. Kusha played f4, and after knight f2, rook g1, we agreed to a draw on move 24. So the accuracy, the best thing. Finally a solid game, 99, played like a dream level. 98.6 for white, 99.0 for black. So I'm 4.5 out of 8 after a terrible and disastrous start. Recovered with 2 wins. I have what, 5 draws? 5 draws in 8 rounds. And in the last round, once again, I mean, I can't say I'm playing a kid, because once again, 2006, I'm playing the third person born in 2006 this tournament, and generally it's insane. I played the oldest guy I played is Kusha, who is like 27 this year, I believe. So yeah, it's just insane, and the rest of the kids are like 18 or 10 years old, which is insane, of course. But yeah, that's it from me for today. I'll see you in the last round recap tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.